The school-to-prison pipeline. It's a term that describes how American kids get pushed out of public schools and into the juvenile and criminal justice systems. Basically, harsh zero-tolerance policies in schools have led to more suspensions, expulsions, and even in-school arrests. Getting suspended or expelled means more time away from school, and it doesn't take an honor student to figure out that's bad news. In fact, expelled and suspended students are more likely to get held back a grade, end up in juvie, or just drop out altogether. And dropping out of high school makes you 3 times more likely to get arrested. Back in school, forget about hallway monitors. Students these days often have to deal with school police. Minor offenses that might have landed you in the principal's office back in the day can now actually lead to your arrest. Students of color and those with disabilities are disproportionately affected. Black students get expelled 3 times more than their white classmates, while a student with a disability is 2 times more likely to get an out-of-school suspension than everyone else. And it's not because these kids are just bad apples. The Justice Department found that black students got harsher punishments than their white peers for doing the same things. So maybe it's time our education system got schooled?
School to prison is that I really feel there's a way we can get past that. And that's one of the things I see of this nature. A lot of children wants to learn, but we have to find out how that child learns. We got to find new ways in order to teach each child. One of the things that the pipeline, if you understand how the pipeline in schools are done, children are graded at 5th and 6th grade, and they're already marked for failure. I don't think that they should do that, because I feel like it's only a business where you can take children and utilize children as a business process in order to make money. I think that, if a child, the pipeline moved to prison, I don't even think that should be necessary to have a terminology such as that. I really feel that we have to give the children the opportunity to learn. Children's gonna make mistakes, true enough, and we all make mistakes, but we learn from our mistakes. As teachers, administrators, and all of us plays a very important part in that child's well-being and education.
The way I feel about it is kind of, a lot of times I understand we have to have discipline, we got to have guidelines, we got to have rules. I think a lot of times when kids are suspended or expelled from school, it does bring negativity towards the individual, because sometimes they had a stable environment being in school, but once they remove from the school, they lose that sense of security. But then I can look at it in another way, is that they have to follow rules. And when you don't have rules, that means that you're gonna have chaos. But it depends on the individual. Do that individual wants to give up on life because they're taken out of school, or do they use it as something positive to make them want to do better?
There are certain policies and procedures in school put in place for a reason, for the safety of other students and the teachers. So if students are not meeting those requirements to meet the policies or what they're supposed to do, then they have to go somewhere else where they can do that. I wouldn't necessarily say that they're necessarily pushed into the streets, but like alternative schools, detention centers, to where they are to learn from their mistakes and do what they need to do. We are about learning and helping children succeed in reaching their goals, but we aren't responsible for their 100% decision making. That's where you all come in as young adults to do what you're supposed to do. So if you can't adhere to the rules or the policies, then go somewhere where you feel as though you can not follow. But at school, it's supposed to be structured. It's a structured place, so yeah.
One of the things that I think we need to do is for us educating our children, because there's different learning styles each child has. So you learn their learning style. It's not because we think that children are being disruptive or whatever. Some just don't understand. They basically learn from hands-on, eye contact, and also verbally. So I think we should find a way to be able to teach all children. My philosophy is this: if a child can't learn what I teach, then I must learn so he or she can learn. You learn, you innovate ideas in order to teach children. But then sometimes you're going to find some children that you really can't reach. Then that's where I would think that a alternative school or some type of learning environment. But I think all children should be in a learning environment. I really feel that all children want to learn, but all children don't know how to learn.
I believe it's up to the child to decide if they want to actually be better or do better, because you can be arrested for stealing or anything, and as soon as you get out, you're back stealing until you have a change of heart where you're actually going to do better. Then it'll be effective. If it's not an effective change where you are sincerely trying to do anything, then no, it has to be purposeful. So, learn from your mistakes. Genuinely.
Do I think jailing or suspending kids make them better? No, I disagree. There are times that I think an individual needs to go to jail, but it's got to be the severity of the crime. If it's something minor, I don't think an individual should need to go to jail. Or if it's something minor as far as school policy, I don't think kids need to be suspended. If it's something dealing with a weapon on school campus, I think they need to suspend or send them to alternative school. Anything that you can do besides suspending, I think we need to exalt that instead of putting them out of school. As far as jailing, if it's not bringing a weapon or making assaulting someone, I don't think any student need to go to jail. But a lot of times it's out of the hands of the police officer. If an individual like a superintendent or a principal press charges, we have to do our job and we do have to jail. But do I believe in jailing for students wise? It depends on the severity of the crime. But if it's something minor, I don't agree with jailing. Why are the schools pushing children of color out of the school system into the hands of police officers? Yeah, that's a tough subject. I haven't seen it firsthand. The school that I've been in, whether my high school years or here at Terra since I've been the SRO here, but I think there are schools that discriminate against children of color and minorities. Do I agree with it? No, I don't, because I think it shows a negative from the century that we live in now. I think we come a long ways as far as the school system with blacks and whites and children of all origins are together. If that school is doing that, pushing children of color out of school, I think it's negative. Something needs to be done about it. I think it starts, at the top with the superintendent that's over that school system that's causing that to be done. But I don't think that type of behavior should be done in the 21st century, the years we live in now. I think that children of color, when they pushed out of school because of that situation, make them give up on life, make them think that there's no hope, because we should be living in a time now where these things are not taking place. But in the hands of police officers, once you leave school without an education, first thing you start doing is can't support yourself, can't get a job. So you start looking at other avenues to take care of yourself, take care of your family, or take care of things that you want. So you start, committing crimes, robbing, stealing, robbing the individuals. So that way I look at it is they are pushed out of schools. That can push them into the hands of police officers, because police officers they uphold the law. And if that individual is out there doing crime, they will end up being prosecuted by police officers and defense attorneys.